Hello and welcome. My name is Jasmine Keys, and you are listening to Why, How, Impact, the series that breaks down what it takes to be a leader and why on earth they do it. Today's trailblazer is Jill Pavlovich, Senior Vice President of Digital Shopping Experiences at Albertsons. Thank you so much for joining us, Jill.
Thank you so much for having me.
Jill, you started your career in merchandising at Calvin Klein. You then landed a director, then VP role at Perry Ellis. You then revolutionized Wayfair with the program Exclusive Brands, which drove 77% of revenue at the time. And then you took all of that tech, product, and e-commerce experience into your current role at Albertsons. A very beyond very impressive journey there, Jill.
Thank you so much.
So I know that all of our listeners are wondering how you have managed to take on so many new and challenging roles and expanded your skill set so dramatically in a relatively short amount of time. What what makes you want to keep throwing yourself in the deep end, Jill? What is your why?
My personal why, and it's become my professional why, is to make it better for those that come behind me. And in my career, that's been both team members and customers. And so it's really those team members and customers that keep me going, keep me learning new skills, keep me developing new experiences, new products, etc.
That passion to help people is something that we've definitely noticed and recognized in all of the trailblazers that have come before you and that we've spoken to for this series. I wonder how you've developed that why through different roles. And I mean, I guess through your life in general.
Yeah, I think it's really through life in general. If I'm being honest, the human experience is really challenging sometimes, and it's through those darkest experiences that you often gain the most perspective. And it was through a personal experience that I was going through, a particularly challenging year. And I really kind of found myself and who I was as a person, as a parent, and as a leader.
And was that relatively recently, or is that something that you've kind of been able to lean on throughout your whole career? Did you start at Calvin Klein having that direction and that vision?
Oh gosh, I wish. I wish I would have come out of college and landed a role and known exactly what I want to do and why I want to do it. But that was not true for me. I developed it, over time, but I think now, how many years ago? It's been about 7 years that I have really have had that clarity on the why, and that why has been fueling me.
Has it given you direction? Did it help you to decide to take on this role at Albertsons?
Oh, absolutely. When you're clear on your why, and, mine being to make it better for those that come behind me and make it better for customers and associates, uh, it became and has become and still is kind of filtering mechanism for me. And I ask in interviews and as I'm learning about a new company or a new role, what the culture's like, what their cultural aspirations are, how they think about, planning and customer back approaches. And it allows me to understand if that's a good fit for the thing that fuels me the most.
And I love that it's a parallel vision or goal. It's about, your team, the people within the company, but also the customers and probably society, right?
Totally. People at
Yeah,
large.
people. Yeah, that's awesome. How has that fueled the way that you lead? How does that vision change the way that you interact with people within your team?
Yeah. Well, I think like first, and what most leaders would say is it really fuels me to make sure that they understand the why, my why, but also the why behind the customer problem, the why behind the business goal. If they understand the why, they can get passionate around it, and the results are better. But also in that understanding each associate or team member's personal why is a little bit different, and where they're coming from is a little bit different, and where they are on any given day is different, and that as a leader you can't take a one size fits all to leadership, and there's no box to put it in, and that each individual on your team needs something a little different from you. And I think there's like a term for that, servitude leadership or something like that. But I found the greatest success in leading teams and leading individuals when you treat them as that, individuals with unique needs and unique passions, and that just allows them to shine.
I think that's a form of empathetic leadership as well.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, and recognizing that we all have, well, I mean, hopefully we have a diverse team at this stage, and that
Absolutely.
yeah, and that everyone in that team is a product of their experiences, and that all of those experiences are unique and varied.
Totally. Exactly.
So you've found that leadership style throughout, I mean, throughout your career, I'm sure, but probably within the last 7 years, and as you've moved into more senior leadership roles, how have you refined it over the years? Have you recognize that some things just don't work? I was talking to one of the other trailblazers the other day, Crystal Lansom, who's the CEO of Lulu's, and she talked about the fact that she reflects on the leaders that she's had, and then, based on positive and negative experiences, what she liked about them, what she didn't like about them, and she acts as a servant leader to her team, and obviously won't do the things that she hated,
Of
micromanagement,
course.
etc.,
Yes.
etc.
I need to meet her, by the way. She sounds amazing.
We'll bring you all together, don't worry.
Um, no, I've definitely refined it, and you learn something from every leader that you have, right? And it's how you choose to ingest that and what you're going to do with that learning, taking the positives, taking the negatives, and sometimes it's trial by error, right? I can look back and over the last 7 years and be like, oh, that was not good, right? And oh, that really worked, right? And one of the bigger things that I've learned is just because I'm excited about something, just because I'm passionate about something, saying it doesn't mean others will be, right? You have to bring them along for the journey. They have to understand the why. They have to see the problem for themselves. They have to get out, if we're solving a customer problem, they have to get out in stores and see it for themselves to develop that passion, right? So finding ways for each individual on your team to develop that passion and to bring them along with you on that vision. Just telling them isn't going to get them there. So finding those experiences that they need to see what you see. And sometimes they come back to you and tell you they see something totally different, and they're right.
And isn't that amazing? That's when you get new
Amazing.
ideas. So, as you've then refined your skill set, you've moved up, obviously. You're a senior vice president now at a huge organization. What is the full scope of skills required for a leader in your field? A little bit of strategy, finance, marketing, merchandising, tech, product. Like,
It's all of those things.
yeah.
Tactically speaking, it's all of those things, and understanding the end-to-end roles within that customer experience in my case really, really helps. I think the other, you need the soft skills. You need to be able to understand where others are in the organization and understand how your role, your business, what you're building supports them and enables them, right? That's how you're going to generate buy-in across the country. So those soft skills, almost those salesmanship skills, are really important. Empathetic leadership, servitude leadership, of course, really helps. And I think the thing that people don't maybe often talk about, because it's not a, hey, I checked this box and I did this role and I now know this, is just an approach to understanding the customer, right? What is your approach to identifying the problem and solving the problems? And that's particular in my role, but in many roles, right? What customer problem, if you're in a retail industry or any industry serving customers, you have to know how you approach solving a customer problem.
And do you then bring your team along for that journey, or does everyone in your team have a different approach to serving that customer?
You have to bring your team along, and you set some, outline. You give them an outline for how do we become customer back? What do we do as in my case, the shopper experience team to make sure that we're super close to the customer, especially in a technology based role where your customer is probably shopping physical retail stores. That is the case here, right? And we're sitting behind a computer building experiences for them. You can't just sit behind the computer. You have to get out. You have to be in stores. You have to act as a customer, but you also have to serve the customers in a traditional format to truly understand what they're going through and what they need. And so you set a framework for your team to do that. You enable them. For us, that's time in stores. That's reading customer comments every single day. That's obsessing over app store ratings and reviews. But in each industry, for each set of customers, that might be unique. But know your approach to connecting with customers, and then your approach to solving those problems for them.
I think that aligns with the idea of, having a vision and having that North Star. What are you trying to achieve for your customers, and ensuring that your team are on that journey with you?
Totally. Absolutely.
All right, let's have a look now at your legacy. We've talked a bit about the idea of an immortality project, you and I, and I want us to kind of reflect on that now. But firstly, so far in your career, and like I said, quite a career already, what are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I mean, I could just list so many things that I'm so proud of. But I really think I'm most proud of the things that I've collectively done with the teams and cross-functional partners that I have worked with, and the leaders that I've worked for. We've done some amazing things, from making it easier for customers to shop for home at Wayfair, to removing the chore of grocery shopping for our customers at Albertsons. Like, that just makes me so proud. And hearing the anecdotes for customers, or getting a text from a neighbor that this app changed my life, those are the moments that you're just like, this is why I do what I do.
That is incredible. What then do you want your legacy to be? Is it something to do with that, or is it something entirely different?
I mean, I want people to remember me as somebody who made it better. Made it better for teams, for family, for friends, for customers.
For society as a whole.
Society as a whole.
So let's expand on that a little bit and come back to what you said at the beginning about making it better for people. And let's talk about how, as a female leader, you're kind of throwing the ladder down.
I mean, yeah, like you have to think about it consciously, right? What are you doing to make it different? And what are you doing to help somebody that perhaps when you were in that same situation, your leader at the time didn't help you? Whether that's thinking about the leave that somebody needs for their personal situation, or thinking about the working hours that they need to be able to support their family and work, right? Thinking about all the unique individuals on the team and their personal needs, right? And I think that allows that ladder to go all the way down, and it allows people to grab on and start to climb up, because we can't fit people into the box of the past, and we cannot certainly do perhaps what was done to us to others. We have to take that and help that, and allow those experiences to fuel us in a direction towards positive change. And I think when you do that as a leader, you throw the ladder for other women that are coming, but also anybody, right? People in general, because you have a nuanced approach to leadership. And starting at 9:30, but 9 or 9:30 isn't going to make or break the company. But it's going to make or break that morning for that mom or that dad or that individual. And you're going to get more out of them for the company. And so it's thinking about things like that I think really help people grab that ladder and start to climb up.
Yeah, creating a human-centered approach and workplace.
Oh, I love that, human-centered. Absolutely.
So, Jill, what's your next step after Albertsons or at Albertsons? What's your next step in your career? Do you want to continue on in product experience? Do you want to try your hand at something entirely different? Because you seem to just keep building on your skill set.
I mean, is it terrible to say? I don't know. I love what I do. I love the company. I couldn't love the company more. I have the most amazing leader. I have the most amazing team. And we're not done. We're really proud of how far we've come and how much of the cognitive load of food we have removed for the customers, but we have so much more. And customers are so smart these days. They're so savvy. They know what they need, and we have more to bring to them to truly help them shop, plan, save, be inspired around, and come together around the joys of food.
Beautiful. I'm looking forward to seeing it, Jill. So as you know, this webcast is called Why, How, Impact. So to summarize each episode, I'll say each word and I'd like you to respond with a very short one-sentence answer, starting with because, by, and to.
Okay, got it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Why?
Because my role is to make it better for others.
How?
Through out in front, inspirational leadership and a deep connection to customers' wants, needs, and pain points.
And impact?
High functioning, happy teams who deliver outsized value for customers and business.
Whew. Now let's reverse that. Complete this sentence. I am a leader because I want to impact. By, how, because, why.
Got it. All right. I am a leader because I want to make a difference in people's lives by creating a high-performing workplace that improves the lives of associates and customers because it fuels me and empowers others.
Love it. I absolutely love it. And Jill, we thank you for your efforts. Thank you for making it better for everyone else. I think I can speak for us all there.
Thank you so much for having me on today.
Such a pleasure. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Why How Impact is a weekly conversation with our 2024 Trailblazing Women. So make sure you subscribe and tune in next week as we continue to explore what it takes to be a leader and the powerful why behind it all. Until then, keep striving to find what motivates you and be kind while you do it. I'm Jasmine Keys, and this is Why How Impact. I'll see you next week.